Harry was in the pub telling John all about this. John commiserated with him. Harry complained that he couldn't get the journalist to pay him for his story, and he said he'd do anything for $100 at the moment. He was that broke. So John said, "What? Anything at all?" And Harry, being desperate, and by now getting quite drunk, said, "Sure." And then the barman, who had overheard this, made Harry an offer he couldn't refuse. My involvement in this case began when a 21-year-old man, Harry Johnson, entered my surgery, complaining that 2 days earlier he had drunk a lot of whiskey and done something very stupid to his rectum. A preliminary rectal examination revealed a hard, smooth, globular mass. When asked specifically, the patient admitted that an electric light bulb had been in his rectum for 2 days. He said he had gotten drunk, accepted a wager of $100, and using shaving cream as a lubricant, inserted a 100-watt electric bulb into his rectum. The next day, sober, he realised he'd done a dumb thing, but thought the bulb would come out unassisted. It did not, and when he discovered he could no longer defecate, he finally sought medical help. Because this was a large object, maximum diameter 61 millimeters, total length 114 millimeters, made of fragile glass, special consideration had to be taken to avoid a breakage, which could result in lacerations to the rectum and adjacent structures, with consequent complications. The patient was taken to the operating room and placed in a face-down position with his hips elevated. The buttocks were separated and held apart by a circular metal ring. With the aid of malleable retractors, the bulb was visualized, but it was not possible to get a gloved finger over the maximum diameter of the bulb. Toy darts with suction cup ends were used to draw it to the sphincter, but 4 attempts to manoeuvre it out proved unsuccessful. After placing the patient in the lithotomy position, 3 number 24 Foley catheters with 30 cc terminal balloons were lubricated with mineral oil and passed over the bulb, while maintaining a steady pull on the attached dart. Once in position, each balloon was inflated with 30 cc's of water, and 30 cc's of mineral oil was injected into the rectum through another Foley catheter. A steady pull of about 5 pounds was applied to each catheter, and, after about 10 minutes, the sphincter began to dilate, and the bulb began to emerge. It finally passed through the external sphincter with no further complications, followed inevitably by a torrent of faecal matter. The patient apologised profusely and left, and I never saw him again. I have since investigated the literature on this subject and discovered that individuals in all societies are prone to introduce foreign bodies into the rectum, penis or vagina, sometimes for sexual gratification, sometimes for unusual psychological reasons. Recorded items have included all types of fruit and vegetables, broom handles, Coke bottles, a baseball, a telephone receiver, a pickle jar, the U-bend of a sink, and a lighted firework dropped down a rolled-up paper tube, causing massive injury, requiring extensive surgery. However, to my knowledge, this remains the only recorded case of a light bulb being removed unbroken.